Your thoughts?
What? What? Who?
Nice.
Get any respect around here. 9:06, Daily Show. It's the last day of February. I was so late getting to my show that I forgot to do my damn hair. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, it's going to be a good show today. We got a great conversation coming down the pipeline with Evangelical Church. They're celebrating a really big milestone, and we're going to get all the details on how the community can celebrate with them. But want to make sure you all know before we do our top of the hour news brief that I just sent out the candidate emails for Alton and Godfrey. So now until, well, not now, but March 4th until March 24th, and March 25th for Godfrey, we're going to be having 1-hour spotlight conversations with prospective candidates. You know, not the Q&A and the old school style network interviews that kind of were outdated, but just a sit down, you know, just a conversation and getting to know a little bit about their background, really talking about the topics that they want to discuss, that their vision, their plans. So former Mayor Walker has already scheduled his, and Beth Ackerman Johns has reached out and confirmed hers too. So we got the first of Alton and Godfrey, and then once I check my email, I know there will be more, but really just a great opportunity ahead of the April 1st Consolidated to get your real insights from these candidates. At 9:07, let's take a look right into top of the hour news now. Here's what you need to know. Residents Michael D. Skiff of Brighton and Aaron D. Rowe of Granite City have been charged with burglary in connection with a case in Bethalto where tools valued at approximately $1,800 were stolen from a residence. Here's what we know. The theft was reported on the 18th of February after the homeowner discovered his tools listed for sale on Facebook Marketplace. A neighbor observed suspicious activity involving a maroon Ford F-150, leading to police involvement. Both individuals have significant criminal histories, with Skiff recently fired from the homeowner's job while Skiff received pretrial release. Rowe remains in custody, awaiting further proceedings. Also in the news today, the Alton Police Department are currently investigating that shooting incident that took place on February the 26th. In the 1200th block of Central Avenue, multiple calls were received reporting gunfire as Alton School District bus was dropping off night school students. Preliminary reports revealed that as a student exited the bus, several individuals began shooting in that direction. Fortunately, no one was injured, and the bus driver quickly relocated to safety, adhering to established protocols. Authorities confirmed that this was a targeted shooting, not random, and have urged residents to review surveillance footage of any suspicious activity. All three of the mayoral candidates in the city of Alton have issued statements on this shooting incident, and they are all available on RiverBender.com for further insights. 2 Wood River residents have been charged with felony theft and burglary attempts. Here's what we know. Cody Harper and Heather Brown, both residents of Wood River, are facing felony charges for stealing extension cords and attempting to break into an Alton building. The pair allegedly stole several 100-foot extension cords valued at over $500 from BSI constructors, on November the 24th and were found in possession of burglary tools, including bolt cutters. Harper is also facing separate charges for stealing over $500 worth of wire from Springfield Electric Supply Company and breaking into a company-owned trailer. Both individuals granted pretrial release and are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Also in the news today, Linda J. Johnson, a 58-year-old woman from Waterloo, has been sentenced in this high-profile embezzlement case to 15 months for embezzling over $135,000 from the Dupo Community Unit School District. In a federal court, she received 3 months in prison, followed by 12 months in community confinement. Johnson pleaded guilty to theft from a federally funded program, having embezzled funds during her tenure in the superintendent's office from 2016 to 2022. She executed 165 fraudulent transactions and misappropriated cash donations that were meant for school activities. Johnson was ordered to pay full restitution, and district officials have emphasized the importance of accountability and protecting educational resources. Also in the news today, a talented group of students from Edwardsville High School gained recognition by being selected for the Illinois Music Education Association All-State Ensembles. The festival is set to take place. The festival did take place, from January the 30th to February 1st and culminates in a performance at Peoria Civic Center. Among the selected are Liv Warner, Henry Winslow, Owen Cirker, along with many other excelling in various categories. The All-State Ensemble performs high-caliber music akin to professional musicians under renowned conductors. The prestigious event highlights the importance of music education in Illinois and attracts over 12,000 participants. Wow. And finally in the news today, State Senator Erica Harris is taking steps to tackle the pressing issue of property tax for Illinois families. Here's what we know on this topic. At the Capitol, she unveiled new legislation aimed at providing much-needed relief to homeowners and seniors. Here's her quote: "Property taxes are a top concern for my constituents," end quote. She highlighted the financial strain on families. Her proposed measure included increasing the income eligibility for the Senior Citizen Assessment Freeze homestead exemption and making the Illinois property tax credit refundable. Additionally, a bill to raise the general homestead exemption to $10,000 and tie future increases to inflation aims to offer ongoing support. Harris believes the initiatives will help families keep their homes and improve community welfare. And that's a look at what's happening around the Riverbend on this Friday morning, the last day of February. Let's take a look at weather. Now, we do have a red flag warning that has been issued. It was issued early this morning at 2:31 a.m. and will last until 8 p.m. this evening. In Illinois, fire weather zones from 10 a.m. this morning until 8 p.m. this evening. Winds west 10 to 20 miles an hour with gusts up to 35 miles an hour with relative humidity as low as 19%. Impacts are the conditions are conducive for rapid spread and growth of uncontrolled wildfires. Any fires that can develop will catch and spread quickly, so please be mindful of that as well. Temperatures today will reach right around 70 degrees, which is just brilliant. Now, however, they drop down to 33 overnight, so a short-lived day of, warmth. Air quality right now is at 63, which is moderate, and the mold count is low at 300. Coming up on Saturday, the first day of March, a high of only 39 degrees, a low of 20. That temperature keeps dropping for Saturday. And on Sunday, sunny skies, a high of 44, a low of 28 degrees. On Monday, the 3rd of March, cloudy skies, a high of 50, a low of 43 degrees. And then on Tuesday, a high of 60, a low of 40, with rain coming down all day in the forecast. That's a look at the next 5 days, but here's what's happening, on this 28th day. Sunny to partly cloudy, windy and warmer, gusty winds, low humidity, and that dry brush results in a high fire threat. Tonight, just partly cloudy. Go outside, Go enjoy and explore. Go to your local businesses. Oh, and don't forget to sign up for RB Weather Alerts. You can text RB to 618-202-4618. That's RB to 618-202-4618, and we can sign you up for instant weather updates. You can also call that area landmark phone number, 618-465-4545, this time powered by Bounce Back Rehab, Recover, and Return home. Alrighty. Let's take a look at downtown Alton on this beautiful Friday. More Daily Show next.
Back to you, you're bound to get what you deserve. Try and test that, you're bound to get served. Love's what I got, don't start a riot. You feel it when the dance gets hot. Love is what I got. I said remember that. Love is what I got. Remember that. Love is what I got.
Hey, would you drop by the pharmacy? My doctor switched my cholesterol medication.
Yeah, will do, honey. I'm glad he's looking out for you.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including managing chronic conditions. Schedule an appointment today.
What are you doing?
We did our home insurance ourselves, but don't feel protected.
So you're building your own American Family Insurance roof line?
Yeah, life's better when you're protected under American Family's roof.
That's not how it works.
Dad, we'll go. It's gonna hit.
See, that's how it works.
For real protection, save up to 23% by bundling your home and auto with us.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville. Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Village Dispensary has the best deals in Godfrey, Illinois with specials 5 days a week. Mondays, roll in the week with 20 to 30% off select pre-rolls. Tasty Tuesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select edibles. Waxy Wednesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select concentrate and vape brands. Thirsty Thursdays, sip and save with 20 to 30% off all drinks. Flower Friday, grab like 3.5 gram flower deals starting at just $20. Village Dispensary, come meet your best buds.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Living in LA with my best old ex-friend Ray. Gosh, she said she knew well and sometimes hated. But isn't that the way they say it goes? Well, let's forget all that and give me the number.
Sorry, I had to add something into my show on the fly. But you know what? That's why they pay me the medium dollars. Hey, I could not go into any other form of this show without sending a big congratulations to the Alton Lady Redbirds. How incredible of a night for them. Sectional champions, a full gallery on RiverBender.com, and you saw coverage here as well. You know, the Alton Lady Redbirds, they're heading back to Bloomington for the Super Sectional for the second consecutive year after that decisive 63 36 victory over the Pekin Dragons. In the sectional championship on Thursday night, the game held at Alton High School, which was really fun to watch. Saw the Lady Redbirds adapt to an unusual starting lineup due to illness affecting two of their top scorers, Kyoko Proctor and Jarius Powers. Both players did not start the game, prompting Coach Howard to rely on the team's reserves. Here's what she had to say. We had to rely on not our starting five. We have some sickness going on, and we didn't know what we had, but to look at our reserves and say this is the sectional final and protect this house. They came out on fire and ignited everyone. Despite the absence of two key players at the start, Alton quickly established dominance, jumping to a 20-2 lead early in the first quarter. Wow. Proctor joined the game a few minutes in and made an immediate impact, hitting 2 3-pointers. By halftime, Alton had extended its lead to 32-8, and I don't think they looked back. The Lady Redbirds continued to build their advantage in the third quarter, leading 50-23 at the end of the period. Both teams scored 13 points in the final quarter, concluding the game with Alton firmly in control. How about this? The upcoming Super Sectional will feature a rematch from last year, with Alton facing Aurora Valley, who defeated Bennett 66-61 in their sectional final. Last year, Alton fell 55-53 to the team in a closely contested matchup, and one they're looking to bring on back as the Alton High Lady Redbirds continue their march to the state title. Congratulations to all of you, and it's been fun to be along for the ride. Hey, I wanted to show you this conversation again. That's why I wanted to come back and talk to you first, because number one, I haven't even put my hairspray in yet. Been hard at work. I've been a working man, but I wanted to come back and congratulate the Alton High girls basketball team, and also wanted to tell you about this conversation I had with Brad. It was really fascinating to learn a little bit more about natural gas safety and really what Ameren does to store the gas. I mean, that's what I found fascinating. That's part of this conversation that you're going to hear now. I'll see you for top of the hour news in the 10 o'clock. But now, Ameren, Illinois. Welcome back, 9:41. So I may or may not have messed up my schedule a little bit. My internal clock off, but Ameren's never off. They're always working hard and making sure that we're safe and our houses are powered. Brad, how are we doing today?
Doing great today. How are you?
Oh, hanging in there. Brad Kleppel is the Senior Director of Gas Operations and Technical Services for Ameren, Illinois, and great to have you in studio today. Really at no perfect timing, better than now.
Yeah, great. Thanks for having us.
Well, and, right away, too, gas safety is always one that I think people, take for granted until the colder months start to come in, and then we turn those furnaces on maybe for the first time, and, everyone's always trying to, is that the smell? Is that the smell? And it's really great to have you here to really discuss these things.
Yeah, we're coming out of a really cold period last week where we saw large demand on our system, and as you mentioned, we work all year long to prepare for this part of winter on the gas side of the business. And as you also said, we're every day, 365, every hour of the day. People want electricity and reliable natural gas every second of the day.
Well, and on top of that, too, I feel like sometimes, and this isn't a slight at homeowners, whenever, especially renters, maybe something happens in their apartment or their home they're renting. And, do we have gas? Do we have electric? What is the difference between, electric or natural gas?
Yeah, thanks for the question. Everybody knows about electric service. It powers, everything that we have, our appliances, our electronic devices. Very important. It's also very visible, to our customers. You're driving down the highway, the interstates, you can see the transmission lines, the wires. So people are very familiar with the electric side of the business. And the electric has its biggest loads during the summertime when it's used for air conditioning and cooling. Now, natural gas on the other side, you don't see it when you're driving down the road. It's underground the whole time, even at the production levels where it's produced at, mostly, Gulf of Mexico area, Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, traditionally. You pull it out of the ground, they process it, they put it right back in the ground, and then they transport it to the population areas. So on the natural gas side, we're used mostly for space heating. That's our big time of the year. Some commercial industrial customers use it throughout the year, nonstop at a steady state. But by and large, when you think of natural gas, you're thinking, oh my gosh, it's cold out.
Right.
My furnace has got to kick on, and that gas has to be there to warm our house up.
Well, and we hear about power outages and electric outages. Are gas outages a thing? Do those happen?
We don't have a name for it.
Okay,
which is a good thing. We would call it a gas outage, though, just if we do have one, but we don't. So the way that this gas system works, we can't just take a momentary outage to fix something. Yeah. You have to have constant pressure at the house. You have to be 100% gas in the pipeline. So if you have an outage, what happens is there's a chance for air to get in within our gas system. And we have to purge that air out of the system before we set up. Because as you know, to get that nice crisp blue flame that everybody knows we need, it has to have the perfect mixture of air and natural gas. So if we do have to have something like, say, for instance, if a third-party contractor hits our gas main, unfortunately happens from time to time, we have customers may take an outage. Well, we have to turn all those customers off, go to their house one by one. We fix what's wrong with the gas system. Whoa. Then we have to purge all the air out at each of the customers' residence, and then we relight all their appliances. So it takes hours and hours to do that. So
I'm sure it's just almost exponential compared to an electricity outage.
Exponential, yeah.
Wow.
To restore customers from a gas outage.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but what is the largest area that you guys have had to maybe in your time encounter that and get an area cornered off and maybe secured? Do you have that on the top of your head? I hate to put you out.
Yeah, the most we've had in the last 4 or 5 years was an outage of about 500 folks. But that took about 24 hours, a little over 24 hours to restore all those customers.
Well, and we were just talking, with Amron a couple of weeks ago about safety just with Lyman. And what I think is incredible, too, is just the safety precautions. Because I'm sure when it comes to a gas scenario, safety has to be the utmost, number one thought on everyone's mind.
Exactly. It's the number one thought of our mind when we leave the shop every single day. But when we think about customer outages, that's why we have to go in each home, make sure that their appliances are operating correctly, so that when we restore natural gas to them, that we're not leaving an incident that could happen or not leaving an unsafe condition.
Well, and with that being said too, everyone has electric, obviously, that's in this area. How many electric and natural gas customers do you have? Do you have a split on that to where you have mostly electric, or do you have a steady balance of natural gas too?
Yeah, we have about 1.2 million electric customers in the state of Illinois and about 815,000 gas customers. And I think this is the number that I don't have on the top of my head, about 650,000 of those have both.
That's what I was curious about, because what was so fun when I bought my first house just a couple of years ago, I thought I just had electric. I didn't know. I knew how to clean a sewer out a little bit because of my grandpa's business with my uncle, but I didn't know anything about that. But I found out I had gas just because of my power bill.
I'm with you. It's the same thing that the first time I grew up in a farm in central Missouri.
Oh, okay.
And we don't have access to natural gas in that area, even for a lot of the smaller cities.
Wow.
But
I didn't realize.
The first time I went to Jefferson City and lived with my brother, I was like, what is this other meter on the other side of the house? I literally didn't know what it was, and it was his natural gas meter.
Interesting. Well, what I think's unique too. It's one of those things where it's kind of a good thing if you don't know what you have. It's not necessarily a good thing, but it's also kind of good because a good service is one that's not on the top of mind for everybody. It's one that you don't go to bed at night going, man, I hope that's okay.
Yeah, and exactly like I talked about before, we have to keep pressure on our system. We don't have outages, so a lot of customers will go through a period of time where they may not even know that they have the service.
So, a lot of times too, I've been reading things on social media, you get the spam pages that throw up, things about natural gas or any type of element really. And when it comes to, safety and making sure they can, I call it just kind of rallying the keyboard people, because man, once they put something out about, true and false about maybe gas or some type of natural disaster, you see everyone starting to weigh in. And with this, though, I always heard that the odor was because of what you guys put in to the gas, correct?
That is correct. So natural gas in its natural form, as it comes out of the ground, is colorless, odorless, and non-toxic. You can actually even breathe it, and it's not going to hurt you as long as you don't displace oxygen.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So we put an agent in it called mercaptan, and it makes it smell like a sulfur, kind of a rotten egg type smell. Back in the day, when they first started realizing that they needed to do something to the gas so people knew it was present because it is odorless,
right?
They made it smell good. and then people started using it to like air out their house or perfume. So we changed that.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah,
that doesn't even surprise me anymore. After the kids ate Tide Pods, nothing surprising. But with that being, when did that start happening with just the odors and putting those fragrances and chemicals? When did that start?
That was very early on, probably like in the early 1910s, 1920s, when gas distribution first started. That's interesting. Was a thing. And then, but now we put the mercaptan in it. Again, it's our first line of defense, basically that our customers smell gas. So we have a saying, we say, smell gas, leave fast. So if you smell gas in your home, you're not supposed to. Another myth people have, they think that, well, if I have natural gas appliances, I may always smell a little bit of natural gas, right? Right. Well, that's not true. You shouldn't smell natural gas in your house.
And that can be like with the plant, just to not to cut you off, but like with stoves and all. And I know in range tops, that's kind of a big thing because sometimes you do, I've been over at someone's house and I hear that. I'm like, I don't know if I want to be in here for a little bit longer, and please don't light a cigarette in this house. But how can people really make sure that their appliances are, connected properly? There's not, leaks in it. Does Ameren have a way that we can call them, or is there a third party that you guys utilize where we can say, hey, go out there and make sure that, Mr. Smith has everything hooked up correctly?
No, really appreciate the question because this is something that we just continue to try to get this out there. Again, we say smell gas, leave fast, get out of the structure. If you really smell gas, if it's a strong odor, get out of the structure. And then call the 1-800 number, which is 1-800-755-5000. And within one of the first one or two options you have, it's to report an odor complaint. And then they will contact, or they'll put you in contact with a customer service rep, and they'll give you information. And we will have somebody out there within 60 minutes. Our average response time is 22 minutes. Wow. And at 24/7, 365 days a year at no charge to our customers.
See, and that's really important for people to know too. And I think that it does, I'm sure, come across a customer's mind for Ameren because they go, what happens if it's, an astronomical amount just for the service fee? And it's good to clarify that too. Yeah. Well, and also
now, and can I jump on that? Because I don't want to mislead our customers.
Oh yeah,
either.
No, never.
We will evaluate the situation and make it safe. If you have an appliance that is leaking, then what they'll do, they'll isolate that appliance, and then you'll have to have an HVAC certified professional come and make sure that that appliance is working properly. Right.
And on top of what about gas pipes and gas lines? Because is there something like where if it's coming into the house and maybe it's old, does Ameren cover that, or is that a homeowner's thing?
No, we own the gas pipe up to the person's house, so it's anything on the outlet of the meters where the customer's responsibility starts.
Really interesting. See, I'm glad I asked that.
So it's all they're indoor piping.
Yeah.
Yep.
Really unique. And when we come back, I'd like to ask you where, Ameren gets its natural gas from, because this is really fascinating, but I want to keep them teased along for the ride. So we'll take a quick break at 9:51. You stay there. We'll stay here on RiverBender.com, Roku TV on this Monday morning.
Get access to care for anyone, anywhere, at any time. No appointments, no waiting rooms, no traveling. OSF on call.
Village Dispensary has the best deals in Godfrey, Illinois, with specials 5 days a week. Mondays roll in the week with 20 to 30% off select pre-rolls. Tasty Tuesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select edibles. Waxy Wednesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select concentrate and vape brands. Thirsty Thursdays, sip and save with 20 to 30% off all drinks. Flower Friday, grab like 3.5 gram flower deals starting at just $20. Village Dispensary, come meet your best buds.
Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh, made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
$9:55. Welcome back as we're closing in on 10 o'clock. Half of the show is done almost, Brad. We're getting there.
Time flies.
It does, especially when you're learning like that. I mean, this is really cool because I did not know, where Ameren gets their, gas from, where you guys get your gas from. Take me through this process. This is so unique.
Yeah, so we are a gas distribution company, which means that we don't produce the gas. We don't bring it up out of the ground, and we're just buying it from other producers. And historically, most of those producers were along the Gulf Coast area, or offshore Gulf. And then there was a vast, network of interstate pipeline companies that brought the gas from Louisiana, from Texas, up to the population centers, which, we're right in between there in Chicago. And then also we're in between those areas and the Northeast cities. Yeah. So we're very fortunate. I think you jumped on earlier when I said something about Missouri not having much access to natural gas. Well, in Illinois, we have, numerous pipelines intersecting the state. And I know we're connected to 10 interstate pipelines that are moving gas through the state. And there's more pipelines that we're not connected to. Wow. In Missouri, where we grew up, they just don't have access to natural gas in that area because there's no pipelines crisscrossing the state. Then the more you move west, where there traditionally was, lower populations, there's even fewer. Mm-hmm. So we're kind of fortunate in Illinois that we have this opportunity to have natural gas through all the communities that we do. But
sorry, no, you keep going. Don't let me ever cut you off. The floor is yours, Senator, always.
But then things changed in 2010. Yeah. They realized for years and years, they knew that there were these reserves of gas that were stuck in these shale deposits. And the problem was that shale is a very dense rock, and they couldn't extract the gas out of it economically. Mm-hmm. Well, and somewhere around 2007, they started experimenting with horizontally drilling through those shale seams and then fracturing that rock, which then releases the gas and allows it to flow in to the production well.
Wow.
That changed the game.
How does gas, what's the state it's in whenever it's farmed out of that, that shale?
You got two different types of production. You got dry gas production where it's coming out just basically the way it's delivered to your home, other than some minimal processing. But then a lot of it's called associated gas. Mm-hmm. So you're drilling for oil, And as you're bringing the oil up, they're processing it, modifying it, and they're separating it, and they separate the natural gas from the oil.
That's really fascinating. I've always wondered that.
Yep.
Sorry, that was a CJ question. Now back to the show. But, when it comes to storage, and we were talking about pipelines, and what's so unique really is the fact that to think about underneath of us are all these different, pathways to get power and to get heat into all these, homes. But what is really this underground natural gas storage field? What's it look like? I mean, is it a big base that has, fences around it, then underneath of it, there's storage, or what do those look like?
Yeah, well, they're not buried underground tanks.
Okay, that's interesting. There we go.
Yeah, and they're not buried they're not caverns underground. So it's actually quite unique. In Illinois, we're very fortunate that we have geology that supports natural gas storage underground. Again, that's unique. Not all states have that. Even our neighbor, Missouri does not have that. They have limestone rock that doesn't support that storage of natural gas underground. So this sandstone, what we're able to find is it's a porous rock. Like if we had a sample of it sitting right here today, you'd look at it and be like, Brad, that's a rock. Right. You're not telling me anything different. But if you look at it in a microscope, you can actually see there's pores within those sand structures. And what we're able to do is when they find areas where you have the sandstone that's overlaid with an impermeable rock, actually a lot of times it's shale gas, as I mentioned before, in almost like a dome type structure, we can slowly inject that natural gas into that sandstone and it fills up those pore spaces and stays trapped underground until we reverse the process.
Whoa, that is just incredible. Well, and I want to circle back to something I think so important too, because you talk about, the availability in Illinois and then lack thereof, in other states, especially as we get more west. Yeah. What does that do in terms of, Ameren, Illinois, not just in terms of Ameren, but also the state in terms of economic growth? Because to me, it seems like we have an advantage over, and that keeps going back to me because it's great to hear about this storage field, but really to hear about that advantage and what it does to our region, just to hear your insights on that.
Yeah, it certainly does add to that. I mean, energy infrastructure is one of the major engines in economic growth and development, and it really drives the Illinois economy. The Illinois economy is I think the sixth largest in the country, and a lot of that is the access that we have to natural gas. The population centers around Chicago, of course, that support that manufacturing industrial growth.
I have a lot of good text questions. See, I didn't want to take credit for that one. I shouldn't have done that. That was a great question from the audience. But, getting back into this too, so there's two different types of reservoirs, correct? Or a couple of different types?
There are. Yes. So in the northern part of the state, we have what we call aquifer storage. So I mentioned that sandstone before. Yep. So in that structure, it's maybe not as much of a dome structure, but this will really blow your mind, CJ. So we inject gas into that sandstone, and the sandstone is actually enveloped in it's a high water table area. So it's got basically water all within that sandstone. As we inject the gas into it, it creates a bubble, like an air bubble, and it slowly pushes that air bubble out with natural gas being in between it.
Oh my God.
So then we expand it out and it becomes almost like a rubber band, right? We're stretching it out. And then whenever we reverse the process, then that water pushes the natural gas out of the ground back up into our distribution system.
That is incredible. Well, how long does that process take?
So that has to take over a season. So that storage is different. We slowly inject that gas because we have to control that air bubble.
Makes sense.
And then detract it. Now, those are 5 fields in the north. In the south, we're in the Illinois production basin. We have 7 depleted oil fields that we inject gas into, and those are different. So those are sandstone structures that have a defined cap and dome structure within them. So those we can actually inject and withdraw gas, every other day if we want. So we're not trying to push that bubble. It's just open pore space in that sandstone.
Wow. Well, and how many storage fields does Ameren have and operate?
We have 12 altogether, and we have them as far north of Peoria and as south as Marion, Illinois.
Wow. How many? And I hate to ask, but you know how big roughly that is? Because whenever I hear 12, I'm sure 12 is some very vast real estate too.
So we can store 40% of our winter supply underground in our storage fields. And that's enough to fuel 350,000 homes for a year.
Wow. That's just incredible. And with that being said too, how does storage operate? So just I'm just really fascinated by this.
The value it brings to our customers is there's really three major benefits. So as we talked about before with the production of natural gas, it's steady state. The gas is coming out of the ground 365 days a year. Well, in the summertime, there's not that much demand for it. So prices get lower. Mm-hmm. So what we do is we buy the first big benefit is the seasonal arbitrage. So we're buying gas in the summer when prices are low, storing it in our storage fields, and we'll bring it out in the wintertime whenever prices are generally higher. That's the first benefit. Second benefit is on really cold days like we had last Wednesday, prices on the spot market may go up 3-4 times the normal
I'm sure,
price.
yeah.
Sometimes they go up exponentially, like we saw during Winter Storm Uri several years ago. But gas is generally priced about $3 a unit. It's not unusual at all during a cold snap for it to pop up to $10. Mm-hmm. So we can, on those days, we can bring about 50% of our peak supply can come out of storage, which means we don't have to buy that high-priced gas on the spot market. We avoid those purchases. Then the last one, third one.
Oh, sorry.
1, 2, 3. The third benefit is just the fact that we bring that gas. So we have 40% of our gas in Illinois near our customers when winter starts.
Right.
It's on our transmission system that we can get it to the customer reliably and provides a lot of reliability and resiliency. Because as I mentioned before, we can't have a momentary outage.
No.
We can't have a period of time where we say, oh, sorry, folks, we don't have enough natural gas today. So, this 10,000 people, you're not going to have natural gas for the next 24 hours. And plus, we can't do that because it would take us a long time to restore those customers. So it's of the utmost importance that we have gas, that positive pressure to our customers every single day on the coldest hour of the coldest day.
Well, and this is what I find so fascinating too, because just hearing all of this, it just goes above and beyond for the customer. Because if we don't have the storage and, like you said, all of that on hand, I can only imagine what, especially during what we had the -2 degree day, what those power bills could look like, and what those heating bills look like, and to know what Ameren does to kind of not only help the supply chain and all of that, but also protect the consumers from the price gouging that would occur during some of those significant events.
Certainly. And unfortunately, there's folks in Illinois that, are on small municipal systems, and they just don't have the opportunity to store gas.
Right.
And a lot of time they don't have the opportunity to manage their financial hedges. So in addition to the storage gas, we also have a group that manages. So where they're buying gas 3 years in advance always. So we layer in purchases throughout the time over a 3-year period. Those hedging strategies plus our storage really keep our prices stable. And again, the goal is to have stable pricing. By doing all that, sometimes, when the market really dips and goes low, we don't get to take advantage of those dips. But what we can guarantee is that our customers aren't going to pay the high.
And see, I think if you had polled the audience, at least 60% would agree with you on that, me being one of them. And another point to make, or just something to ask you, not really a point, is, when I lived in Austin, Texas for a few months and I was doing pro wrestling, it was right after the deep freeze and everyone's pipes froze and bursted, and it was a terrible mess. Yeah. I actually helped run the books and do stuff in the office for construction companies and did a lot of insurance claims and all of that. So kind of got some firsthand just knowledge on the damage that was sustained by it. What does having this on hand do to maybe eliminate a lot of those scenario? Because I feel like a lot of that's timing. If you're without heat and power, that's where the time becomes really a major factor. I'm an amateur and don't know this, but it's just a thought I have.
Okay, well, I'm going to go back to the pro wrestling at some point, but yeah, the Texas, that was a terrible time, and that was really just a lack of weatherization on many fronts. It was a lack of weatherization. And weatherization, is basically you're in South Texas. No one expected to get that cold there. We produce gas. They make electricity.
Right.
Windmills run in Canada and Minnesota, so they can be made that way. They just didn't do that in Texas. So what happened was some of the production areas on the gas side, the production areas, the wells that came out of the ground, they didn't have those like heat traced or anything to where they could keep those from, because when you bring it up, you bring water up with it. Mm-hmm. And before you get a chance to process that water, what happens is those wells freeze off.
Gotcha.
So then they're shut down until it thaws back out. And so that happened in Texas. We had actually the same thing happen with some of the power plants. Their water intake structures weren't weatherized. So the water intake structures froze up, and then they couldn't produce power either. So.
And it's just really fascinating to kind of hear that, because I've always, just for folks to gain a little bit more insights on, maybe why our systems are designed the way they are and why, our state's infrastructure is designed the way it is.
Yeah, and probably to get back to, I think your actual question was how are we insulated from that? Well, bringing that 40% of our supply and having control of that reduces our reliability, reduces our dependence on that upstream interstate pipeline. So while we still had problems, with our supplies and stuff, we at least had some flexibility, and we could bring those storage fields on and try to make up for some of that.
And it's really important to kind of note that too, just to get our audience and your customers a little bit more insights. Because if I don't know, I'd assume a couple of other people don't know either. With that being said, Brett, really great talking to you. And before we leave, it's really good to talk safety tips, because I know that we're getting ready to turn our furnaces off for the year and all of that. But is there anything that we should do as we're getting ready to, in the next month and a half, switch over to air, getting that air on? What should we do before we turn it off? Any safety tips or any preventative maintenance that our customers can do?
No, there's actually not really for your natural gas furnace, but it's always a good idea at least once a year to have an HVAC professional come and look at all your equipment. So maybe whether you're doing it this time of year, to have them look at your air conditioner, but also have them go ahead and look at your natural gas furnace, make sure it's operating properly. They'll clean it. If there's anything, they can clean up the dust and stuff like that from the burner tubes. There's, just keep routine maintenance on those.
And what do we do if we smell, gas? I know it's smell gas, leave fast, but what numbers do we call? Is it 911 at some point too, or no?
It can be 911 if you think you're in a severe situation.
Okay,
Again,
gotcha.
There's the gas, that agent goes a long way. So if you get a hint of that smell, you're probably in a good situation where you can just leave the structure, call Ameren. It would only be an emergency situation if you feel like the house is full of gas, or there's other, ignition source or anything else that may lead you to think that there's going to be an emergency.
And then you call 800-755-5000 if you smell gas. I have one final question. This is a true CJ question. What if you have a little bit of gas in your home? Let's say, there's a connection on a stove that, or a range that isn't, working, and all of a sudden it's leaking, you got a gas leak. Are you immediately going to burst in flames? I hate to say that. I didn't know other way to put that, because I think my misconception is the moment, there's any gas, we're going to go boom immediately. Is that the case?
No, it's one of the safety features of natural gas, in addition to one main characteristic of natural gas versus other, is it's lighter than air. So if you have a leak within your house, natural gas is going to rise and it's going to try to find its way out.
Gotcha.
Propane, unfortunately, it's heavier. It's a heavier hydrocarbon, has a higher heating value than natural gas. But the problem with that is it goes down.
Gotcha.
So if you have a propane household, and for all the listeners, if you have propane and your appliances are in your basement, that's where your leak's going to be. That's where it's going to stay. So natural gas will try to find its way out. But typically, again, I said that the agent in there is very distinct.
Yeah.
It's very concentrated. Like if you smell just a little bit, like, I think I smelled natural gas there. Yeah, it's nowhere near a hazardous leak at that point.
Absolutely. I'm glad I asked that question. See, that's not too bad.
But you should still call.
Still call.
Call and have us come out and check it out.
800-755-5000. And Brad, seriously, thanks so much for stopping by. Gained a lot of knowledge today, and I hope the audience did too, but I definitely learned something.
That's our goal. Public awareness. We have folks that go out that try to spread this message throughout, because we want our people to use our product every day, but there's a way to do it safely.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thanks, CJ.
We'll take a quick break. 10:12 is the time on this Monday morning. 45 degrees for the first time in a month. We'll come back with more Daily Show right after this on RiverBender.
Have a rash, pink eye, or urinary tract infection and need care now? OSF On Call Urgent Care is here to treat you. Start a virtual visit 24/7, whenever and wherever you need it. It's just that easy. OSFOnCall.org/virtual visit.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
I set the thermostat so my house would be warm when I got home from work, but the kitchen is still cool.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we stand behind every Linux system we sell.
My dealer said he'd take care of everything.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we understand everyone wants prompt, professional service.
Turns out it wasn't my furnace after all, just a little something blocking the vent.
Pretty smart dog if you ask me. For service you can count on, call Barrett Heating and Cooling.
Lennox, innovation never felt so good.
Brant Walker knows how to get results for Alton because he's done it. As Mayor Brant froze the property tax levy and balanced the budget, his economic development policy stimulated $116 million in private capital investment. Community policing and increased resources for public safety led to a decrease in crime. And under Brant Walker's leadership, Alton secured more than $10 million in extra grant funds for infrastructure and park improvements. Move Alton forward with Brant Walker.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Baby, my love is on the line. Baby, don't change your mind. Don't change it. Be strong and leave the past behind. Baby, don't change your mind. Don't change it. Don't change it.
Welcome back, Daily Show. 4 minutes left in the last 9 o'clock hour of February 2025. We're out of here, my friends. We have almost made it. Why am I getting so angry? I don't know. A lot of problems. All righty. Hey, I do have a national. If you can't laugh at yourself, you know. Wanted to give you a national news brief. As some of you know, we are a part of the, media statements and stuff. We get them sent in from the press pool at the White House, and there is some developing national news. AP should have a story here quickly, but your national news brief is not going to be on the meeting with President Zelensky and President Trump. It will be over this. Last night, this is submitted from the press secretary, Caroline Leavitt. Last night, 29 Mexican cartel members were extradited to the United States. President Trump did direct the Department of Justice and the Department of State to make this happen. Attorney General Bondi and Secretary of State Rubio did a tremendous job in getting this done. The group of cartel members who will soon arrive on American soil includes one of the most evil cartel bosses in the world, Rafael Caro Quintero, who tortured and murdered DEA agent Kiki Camarena in 1985. The previous administrator, and we'll stop there just for this statement, the Trump administration is declaring them terrorists, and they demand justice for the American people. That was a statement from the press secretary regarding the development last night that 29 Mexican cartel members were extradited to the United States. including one of the most known cartel bosses, Rafael Caro Quintero, who tortured and murdered that DEA agent Kiki Camarena in 1985. So that is your national news brief, something we're going to start adding to the bottom hour of each show, just so that way we can keep you informed just from what we're getting sent just straight from the source there. So at 9:58, that's a look at just what's happening here nationally. We will have more updates for you if we receive them regarding that very high-stakes meeting in just an hour or two when we're looking at national. We'll be back with local news, as always, in the top of the 10 o'clock hour in just a few short minutes. But now that my hair's done and I can actually be on it, man, that was a rough start to the show. It was so rough. I knew it was going to be bad because I looked at the clock and it said 9:05 and I went, oh no, you cannot do your hair in 2 minutes. There's just no way. But you know what? You can't cook in 5 minutes either. Not if you want to cook well. I mean, come on, you're having a family meal and you're going to put instant mash out there. No. Not for holiday. I know we all do. I do it too. I just needed something to say. But my point is, you aren't going to be able to cook something that good in 5 minutes. So why don't you just call Carver's Barbecue? You know what I'm saying? They'll take care of you. Whether or not you are cooking just for a meal for your family and maybe you just rather spend it outside today because I don't know, it's going to be 70 degrees. Or you have a big event coming up. You have a holiday coming up. Easter is starting to get closer and closer to happening. Then 4th of July, all those good things. That's where you need Carver's Barbecue, award-winning barbecue that they cater for you. All you got to do for catering options is call the store 618-467-9999. Just like old Mike Shannon would say, $99.99 for Cardinals Care. Well, now it's for Carver's Care. Carver's Barbecue is here to make your life easier and really just to make you full. Put a smile on your face. You know what I think's really cool about Carver's Barbecue is the storefront itself over there on Groveland and Godfrey, because, you know, throughout the month, you'll see Wednesday night jam sessions at Carver's where musicians are coming in and playing. Those brisket burgers are out of this friggin' world, just spectacular. Plus, you can take $20 while you're waiting on your barbecue, go put it into Spartacus over there in one of those slot machines, and I'm telling you what, you could walk out winning $12.99. Lunch, dinner, paid for, and your house note for the month, paid for, courtesy of Carver's Barbecue. If all the stars align. Gamble responsibly, but you don't have to eat responsibly at Carver's Barbecue because they got you covered. Once you start eating one bite, you'll be eating the whole darn tray. That's how good it is. Stop by today or just go online and order online, carversbbq.com. That's carversbbq.com. You know what? We're already here. It's 10 o'clock in downtown Alton. You're listening to our daily show on RiverBender.com and Roku TV, and you can't see that stuff. That's behind the curtain. While I have you, let's just go right into top of the hour news, shall we? Oh, man, it's getting warm in this basement. Make sure you sign up for that daily email update where you can join myself and 70,000 people that are in the know each and every day of the work week and on Saturdays with Around the River Bend. We will take you to Alton first, as the Alton police are currently still investigating that very serious shooting incident that took place just a few short days ago, February the 26th. In the 1200th block of Central Avenue, multiple calls were received reporting gunfire as an Alton School District bus was dropping off night school students. Preliminary reports do reveal that as a student exited the bus, several individuals began shooting in that direction. Fortunately, no one was injured, and the bus driver quickly relocated to safety following established protocols. Authorities can confirm the shooting was targeted, not random, and have urged residents to review surveillance footage for any suspicious activity. All three mayoral candidates have weighed in on this incident with letters to the editor, their statements on RiverBender.com for more coverage and more details. Linda J. Johnson, a 58-year-old woman from Waterloo, has been sentenced to 15 months for embezzling over $135,000 from the DuPont Community Unit School District. In federal court, she received 3 months in prison, followed by 12 months in community confinement. Johnson pled guilty to theft from a federally funded program, having embezzled funds during her tenure in the superintendent's office from 2016 to 2022. She executed 165 fraudulent transactions, misappropriating cash donations that were meant for school activities. Johnson was ordered to pay full restitution, and district officials have emphasized the importance of accountability and protecting educational resources. Finally, in the news today, State Senator Erica Harris is taking steps to tackle pressing issues of property taxes for Illinois families. At the Capitol, she unveiled new legislation aimed at providing much-needed relief to homeowners and seniors. Here's her quick statement. Property taxes are a top concern of my constituents, Harris stated. She highlighted the financial strain on families. Her proposed measure includes increasing the income eligibility for the senior citizen assessment freeze homestead exemption and making the Illinois property tax credit refundable. Additionally, a bill to raise the general homestead exemption to $10,000 and tie future increases to inflation aims to offer ongoing support. Harris believes these initiatives will help keep families in their homes and improve community welfare. At 10:04, that's a look at what's happening around the Riverbend. Let's take a look at weather. It's almost 60 already. How about that? And how about a solid news? I felt like that was smooth. You know, like I'll give myself like an 8 out of 10 on that one. What do you think? You know, close. Am I onto something here? Or should I just keep reading? I'll keep reading. All right. 57 degrees, but it feels like 56. Dang it. Out there today, sunny to partly cloudy. It will be windy but warmer. Gusty winds, low humidity. It does have a dry brush result in that high fire threat. We'll take you to that weather alert now. The National Weather Service has issued that red flag warning for wind and low relative humidity, which is in effect from 10 a.m. this morning until 8 p.m. tonight. It just went into effect officially. Winds west 10 to 20 miles an hour with gusts up to 35. Relative humidity as low as 19%. The impacts. Conditions are conducive for rapid spread and growth of uncontrolled wildfires. Any fires that develop will catch and spread quickly. Outdoor burning is discouraged today. That's your National Weather Service alert. Right now, the air quality is at 63, which is moderate. Man, my head's starting to hurt now. Mold is low at 300, the UV index at 4. Temperatures will reach 70 on the dot today and drop down to 33 overnight as we head into Saturday. On Saturday, the first day of March, but it won't feel like it. A high of only 38 degrees, a low of 20. No rain in the forecast. On Sunday, a high of 44. A low of 28 degrees. No clouds in the sky. On Monday, cloudy skies, a high of 50, a low of 43 degrees, and on Tuesday, rain all throughout the day, a high of 60 and a low of 40 degrees. That's a look at the next 5 days. Here's what's happening now. It's 10:06 in the heart of the 618 for time and temperature throughout the day. 618-465-4545. This time powered by Tom Lane. He's your local State Farm agent. All righty. Where's my darn binder? Did I not bring my binder? Hold on here. Gotta wing it. I did not bring my binder in. That's okay. You know, it's great to have supporters like Absolute Healthcare. You know, better healthcare is their mission, and they truly live by it. Deb Ross is one of the most passionate individuals that I've truly come across when it comes to, you know, taking care of ourselves as we get older. And if you've ever been a caregiver for somebody, or you've kind of helped, you know, that older adult in your life as they were in that maybe not last chapter, but, you know, the last couple of them, and you were along, you know how tiring it can be to be a caregiver. You know all the work that goes into that. And, you know, when you want to take a break, or maybe you have to get a new job and the schedule changes, you start to worry, right? You go, who is going to do this job the right way? Who's going to be the one that I can trust? And Absolute Healthcare, that's the company. I mean, for 20 years, Deb Ross has been the best when it comes to this. I truly mean it. They have all these services to really put you at ease, from, you know, prescription services just to simple tasks at home to more advanced home care. They have you covered all across the board, full stop. I mean, listen, this is the most important time of a lot of our lives, is when that older adult in our life is starting to get older, and hey, who can run mom's medicine over? Who can get grandma's prescriptions today? Well, Absolute Healthcare can at least help with some of that. They're truly the best, and I'm telling you what, once you go in and have that consultation, you'll see why why everybody always makes that decision. You can go to Absolute Healthcare right now to see their list of home services from level 1 independent and ADLs to level 2s and level 3s, plus personal services, and standby assist, cane walkers, wheelchair transfers, all those things that you would take for granted. Absolute Healthcare is truly there for you. You can learn more by going to this website. It's ahcllc.com. That's ahcsllc.com, ahcsllc.com, or you can always call their home office. They're truly the best. 618-466-1010. That's 618-466-1010, or just fill out the form and they'll be in touch as soon as they can be. That's Absolute Healthcare. Don't forget to tell them that you know who sent you over their way. You know what? I haven't heard Stevie Wonder in a while. Let's take a look at downtown Alton. We'll come back, meander a bit, more conversations on a Friday. You're listening to our daily show on RiverBender.com.
Out of sight, baby, everything is alright. I'm dry, out of sight. I'm a poor man's son from across the railroad track. Only shirt I own is hanging on my back.
Oh no, another bad headache? Yeah. Maybe it's time to see your doctor.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including diagnosing health issues or referring you to a specialist. Schedule an appointment today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
Get paid to go solar.
We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh, made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with
Oh, 10:30. Bottom of the hour. You know, it took me like 4 years in radio to figure out what bottom of the hour meant. Isn't that amazing?
There you go.
Because it's the bottom half of the clock. Didn't realize that. I didn't know why they called it top of the hour either. I'm like,
I know the top of the hour. The bottom
sounds
of the hour,
pleasant.
Yeah.
bottom of the hour. We used to have a bottom of the hour news at the old radio. Well, not the it is old, but the radio station I used to work at. Very interesting. With that being said, you know what else is really cool and interesting? This free spiritual experience series that you two are a part of and leading the charge on. This is taking place. We spoke a couple of weeks ago about this. It's going to be a 3-part series starting March the 6th, all the times at 1 p.m., and they're always on a Thursday. The first one, Past Lives and Present Lessons. Your Dream Worlds Revealed is the second series, set of the series on April the 3rd. And then Soul Travel Explorations. And we'll talk about all of this as we get closer and closer to each respective one. But this is a really great opportunity.
You know, I appreciate that you named all of them, but they're all under the umbrella of Raise Your Spiritual IQ.
Right.
That really is the emphasis on all of them.
Yeah.
To be able to tap into the spiritually minded soul who wants to, increase their spirituality in their own way, in their own path, in their own religion, in their own non-religion, whatever it is. It's when you say raise your spiritual IQ, most people think of IQ as the mind.
Right.
And we're talking spiritually here. And that is all these techniques, these different things, the themes that we have. They will be talking about how they help your spirituality.
Well, and so many times right now, especially for so many people, they just feel kind of lost, where it's like, man, something's out there and I'm not connecting with it yet.
Every day.
Right. And so what better time to really come together with like-minded folks, that can really have some experiences to maybe share and also just collaborate on those thoughts on, exploring. And so many people need that collaboration.
Yeah, and you need to tap into that spirituality, like Flo said, you've got to really focus your day, yourself to the divine, because we're being talked to all the time, whether you think it's the universe or, Yahweh, whatever you choose to look at the divine as. It's great to tap into that.
And that's so true too, because so many times you get folks that maybe feel like they're spiritually inclined and, they're only practicing when they need to. Where it's they're not living it all the time because you have to work at it. It's not something that,
Yes. But then once you become aware that spirituality is always available.
Right.
Even when you're in traffic and you're sitting there and you have 20 minutes to go somewhere and you need to be there in 10 minutes, you can't. And that's where we bring in the Hugh song.
Yep.
Where it is a technique. All of these, Raise Your Spiritual IQ, it's a booklet that everybody gets. It's actually a journal. And there are spiritual exercises, there are techniques, and there's places where you can write your insights and your experiences. And we will go into some of the different ways to do that. And when you're doing that drive, it's like, okay, it helps to make that connection between you, which is soul. We've talked about that. The reality is that all of us are soul, this eternal spark.
Right.
And we want to connect with what you said. How do we connect with God or Yahweh or whoever, the universe? That Hugh song will help with that connection, and it calms.
Can I ask you guys, and I don't think I've ever asked you this, take me through how long it took to really gain the understanding of awareness in terms of your own, spiritualities. I hate to get so personal on it, but I feel
I'm still. There's not an end point.
Right. But my point, how you said like you can just find it in that 20 minutes. When did that moment start?
Okay, through a daily spiritual practice.
Really?
Yes, like 10. 15, 20 minutes, whatever you can do in the morning. Meditators do this. I call it contemplation because you're not really using the mind. You can visualize something you love, a child, a dog, a parent, and you think of that love that opens the heart. You sing the Hugh. You ask for guidance during your day. You do it to spiritualize yourself, and then you let it go and go out. And whenever you're in that moment, it's like, okay, you stop and you can just go inwardly and sing it Hugh silently, and then take a breath and go.
Right.
But as far as how long, did it take, we're all unique individuals with, different bombardments, if you will, from the, family, friends, whatever, and so it might take a little longer, but, the practice setting up the time, however long you take, I take 20 minutes. And then
when I was
just
raising
focus.
kids, it got to be 2 minutes.
Exactly.
But I did it.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's where these sessions come in, and you just going in. I mean, you guys are going to be a part of a 3-part series here, and it's all about, like Flo said, about raising your spiritual IQ. This great journal where the material in it really does challenge you to question not maybe your whole entire life, but really get your gears going in a way that gets you inclined to really start thinking spiritually, and in a way that really does connect you with not only your loved one or yourself, but the world. Because you're right. I mean, we've talked about it how many times. All this world is, it's just a ball of spirits, and it's just going to the next canvas.
Okay, I do want to say of all those 3 things you listed, the family, ourselves, and the world, really the connection with ourselves is the most important.
True, that is so true.
Because if we don't have that, then we think we're going to be helping someone else, controlling someone else's lives, and it comes down to our own help, which is listening. And see, that's the spiritual practice, is to get to the point where you can understand the reality within what you're listening to, your higher self, which is soul.
You're so right. I mean, because if you can't obtain the other two without finding the love for yourself and who you are spiritually first.
That's
you just can't.
It.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and see, whenever you're having conversations, about this, or because I know that you've done events at Riverbend Yoga in the past, which is 100 West 3rd Street. It's literally right down the road. Beautiful building too. They've done it. Mike's done a good job. And
great people.
Aren't they good people?
They're wonderful.
What are some of the things that have been discussed, not in terms of maybe specific topics, but just in terms of spirituality? Do you feel like there's a growing need for these conversations just based off the folks that you've been able to encounter in your sessions?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, yes. Most of us, when it comes down to it, it's the everyday techniques that we learn to manifest that reality. I mean, you could have this vision of, let's go have this experience, whatever, but it really comes down to day-to-day living.
Mm-hmm.
How can I, ways to handle, like when you're having an argument with someone, how to step back from it and to actually see that other person is soul, you are soul. They're having maybe a bad day. And see, that's the first thing we're going to be talking about, past lives, present lessons.
Yep.
Because everybody believes in karma at this point. What you sow, you reap. That's in the Bible. Mm-hmm. Everybody believes in that. But not everybody believes because of their religion or whatever. They don't really understand reincarnation, how karma connects with reincarnation.
Mm-hmm.
Real quickly, I have a story about how I was helped to connect those 2 things. My daughter, who's now 50 years old, was just born. So this is a long time ago. It was after I first got into Eckankar. And when she was born, she connected with my mother, her grandmother, my mother's first grandchild. And she was just so connected to her. When she discovered a butterfly for the first time, she told my mother. She wanted to tell my mother, not me. I started to become jealous of my mother. Oh. Now, this is a negative thing, of course. This is one of these daily things going, I don't want to be jealous of my mother. Right. So I took it into contemplation with my spiritual exercise. I sang the Hughes song, and I asked within, why? What is this connection? Why am I jealous? What is the connection between these two?
Sure.
I was like, I had you would call it a dream, a waking dream, a vision. My mother and my daughter had been siblings. They had been widowed, not widowed. What's the word when you don't have husbands?
Spinster.
Okay. No, when you don't have, where you don't have, you're not married. They were together all their lives. And when my daughter passed away from my mother, she had said to her, I'll find a way to get back to you. They made that agreement many lifetimes before, whatever lifetime, I don't know. And when I realized that they had been that close, spinster is the word, when they had been that close, I let it go.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
It was such a relief.
the weight of the world's off your shoulders, because think of what that would have done if it would have just ate at you for a year. That's not good.
The separation, all that kind of stuff.
Terrible. And see, that's where this comes into play, and it could help so many people. And this is where I wanted to get really to the meat of this, because I think sometimes people maybe hear a couple of seconds of an interview and maybe a couple of minutes, but they don't understand what criteria they meet to be a part of this free spiritual experience session. Right. I wanted to ask you though, is there a certain person that you are, that you think would hit all the boxes in this? Who do you think this would benefit the most? I'll ask both of you that question.
You want to answer first?
Oh, I just think anybody who has any interest in improving themselves at all, whether it's, how do I relate to the world today, which is a little frightening at this point, but, how am I working with it and how can I do better? And I think that pretty much anybody falls into that category. It's people that want to explore more of, the whys and, but at the same time, the understanding and the surrender that comes when you go, God, I don't get it, but I'm willing to listen to whatever it is that.
It is not for someone who wants to know if they've been the king of Siam.
Right.
In a past life.
Well, it's true.
You're so right. Oh my goodness. You know how many people think they were Elvis?
More than one.
I think it's.
You're right.
People are really spiritually interested in unfolding.
Yeah, and tongue in cheek aside, you are right, because I think that takes away, because there's could be some really important conversations, and maybe not every one of them are going to be ones that changes the life, but what it is one that each and every one of those are going to give you that building block to keep laying down, so you're going to get to that, that true peak, of what your performance spiritually needs to be,
Yes.
Yeah,
so
when you're building that spiritual foundation, it's a huge part of it to do that inner search, that spiritual exercise, that surrender to the God force within you, if you will.
100%, 100%. And now, as we've already been talking for 15 minutes. Let's talk about how this series will work. It's free to the public. How do we sign up? How long does it go on for each Thursday? And then is there a Q&A? What's the format of this?
Okay, that was a lot of questions.
I did ask a lot of questions. Now, where were you 2 weeks ago at 9:45?
Okay. The format is friendly. It's like sitting around a coffee table and just having a discussion. It's not a formality. There's no sign up. You just come if you can come. You don't have to come to all of them. You can come to one. You can come to two. You can come to all three. There is a little free booklet that's given with each one, which has some stories in it that we can start with. But the whole meat of it is an hour from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. 2 weeks from yesterday, which is March 6th, is our first one. And it is on the first Thursday of each month. We'll have a different topic like you announced at the beginning. And we'll be back to talk more about the other ones. But right now, the first one is Past Lives, Present Lessons. And it's Discover the Secrets of Karma and Reincarnation. See, that's it, to answer questions about your life today. And it's simple. It's not putting anybody on the spot. My sister, who doesn't believe in reincarnation because her religion doesn't believe in it, she does believe in karma. So she comes to the conversation. She's part of it. Yeah. But my mother, who's of the same religion, who's no longer on the planet, she believed in reincarnation because my mother was so practical. I can't believe we've got to get it all right in one lifetime. So
that's what she said.
That's what she says.
I think it's great.
It is. That's a good line.
And she's a very wise and beautiful soul. And the thing is that they're really the format. There is questions and answers. We encourage questions.
And we encourage stories too. If they have something, we've heard some stories that, amazing. People are trying to figure it out. And, just by talking about it, they figure it out themselves. We're not analyzing or, we might, offer a quick suggestion, but it's
or a question, another question. That's the thing is, that's a good way to put it. When someone tells a story, instead of giving our answer, because their answer is the best, they're the answer that is the aha, we ask questions to help them delve deeper into their understanding.
100%. And it's so important because you won't be able to obtain it without doing that.
And there's nothing on this planet that isn't spiritual. Just like nothing in this planet that isn't material.
Yeah.
Physical.
I agree. Well, and this is why we wanted to do a quick conversation about just all of this so we could put a nice article together and get some folks out there. I really encourage you to take a look at this. You guys will be coming on next week, I believe. Is it next week or the following week?
The following week. The Monday before the Thursday.
And we'll be on again to talk about this. The first experience of this series, the Free Spiritual Experience series. Past
Raise
lives.
your spiritual IQ.
Raise your spiritual IQ. Free Spiritual Experience series. Thursday, March the 6th at 1 p.m. is the first one. Discover the Secrets of Karma and Reincarnation to answer questions about your life today. We just discussed a little bit about that. In each session, you'll be getting a new book, and you can go to 1, you can go to 2, you can go to 3, or you can just really be along for the ride.
And you'll all get a journal.
And the journal is important.
And the journal will carry us through all 3, and the different ones, you'll get a different free book for the others.
And they're available online as well at eckankar.org.
Eckankar.org is an excellent resource for all of this.
Thank you very much. And we'll talk again in a couple of weeks.
All right. Thank you, CJ.
We'll take a quick break. 10:47. It's almost 20 degrees out there. How about that? Woo! Come back with more Daily Show after this.
Have a rash, pink eye, or urinary tract infection and need care now? OSF On Call Urgent Care is here to treat you. Start a virtual visit 24/7, whenever and wherever you need it. It's just that easy. OSFOnCall.org/virtual visit.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
I set the thermostat so my house would be warm when I got home from work, but the kitchen is still cool.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we stand behind every Linux system we sell.
My dealer said he'd take care of everything.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we understand everyone wants prompt, professional service.
Turns out it wasn't my furnace after all, just a little something blocking the vent.
Pretty smart dog if you ask me. For service you can count on, call Barrett Heating and Cooling.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good. Brant Walker knows how to get results for Alton because he's done it. As Mayor Brant froze the property tax levy and balanced the budget, his economic development policy stimulated $116 million in private capital investment. Community policing and increased resources for public safety led to a decrease in crime. And under Brant Walker's leadership, Alton secured more than $10 million in extra grant funds for infrastructure and park improvements. Move Alton forward with Brant Walker.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello.
Welcome back. 10:32 on this 28th day of February. We are almost out of this Well, green mile of a month. It is a long one, you know. It just seems like it never ends. And then March is here, and then Christmas shows up, and we're doing it again.
Oh, absolutely.
One thing that will be here all year long is the 175th anniversary of Evangelical Church. This is exciting.
It is. It's very exciting.
175 years. That's a long time.
I don't think there's another. Is there anything else that's as old, maybe?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Is it around here, though?
St. Peter and Paul.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
St. Peter and Paul, I'm sure it's as old. St. Mary's is getting close.
It's just amazing, though, to think that Evangelical has been around for 175 years. And you drive by it and you think, you know, we're still kind of a newer community.
Absolutely.
You know, being in the Midwest, you wouldn't think all the generations that have been in. So how is the church feeling just about the big 175 number alone?
Oh, we're very excited. Absolutely very excited. The committee has been working hard and very diligently since last July, putting together the plans and all the events for this year. So it has been work in progress. So we're all very, very excited for it.
So how did the church develop? What was the construction process like?
Well, now,
I'm going to share
you have to remember that it was originally here in Alton at 8th and Henry Street. And then we had two different buildings at that location. And then in the late 1950s, it was decided we were going to have to expand, and there was not room at that site to really expand anymore. So they were very fortunate to be able to purchase a 20-acre plot of land there at the corner of Route 3 and Pierce Lane. And so we bought that and then constructed a new building in the 1960s there at that location. So
1968.
Is when we opened that church there.
Well, it's really it's so fascinating to hear that history a little bit too, because I guarantee you most people wouldn't realize that Evangelical was in Alton at first.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Do you have any?
Not only was the church in Alton, but at that time, even way back then, we also had a school.
Really?
It was a German school at that time, and the purpose of the school was to teach the German to the students so that they could go to confirmation class and be confirmed in German.
Wow.
Kind of continue their heritage.
That's
exactly.
Really cool. Well, Alton, it's so fascinating, too, because we have Lacey on from the genealogy department at Hainer.
Right.
And, you know, we had such a melting pot of a community and still do. To hear that is fascinating.
Absolutely.
So, you know, we break ground on the new building in May 26, 1968. Evangelical is open, correct, that date?
That's when the building itself was open. Yes.
Correct.
And did you guys wait until, I guess, school started the following year?
No. School didn't start. We started with a preschool, with a school for the young years, and that was in the 1970s.
Right.
But the actual evangelical school didn't begin until the 1980s.
1983.
Really fascinating.
Yes.
I'm glad I asked that. So, with that being said, all members of the church family are invited to be a part of this really year-long celebration.
Absolutely.
And take me through it. So, it's already kind of started, obviously. 2025 is here.
Right.
What have you guys been able to do just as a church community in the first couple of months to start marking the occasions?
Well, in January, we were able to just really kind of kick it off and get everything started. Give a little history to the group and to everyone. Remind everyone of where we had come from and how far we had come.
Cool.
Correct? Right. So then here in February, we kind of focused on our education and our mission because we did support some mission. We support a lot of outsourcing mission groups. We do a 1 great hour of sharing, Neighbors in Need, Hoyleton, Kinder Cottage, the Hits Home, the Du Bois Center, the Deaconess Hospital, the Bucket Brigade, Crisis Food Center, Oasis Women's Center, Mission Camper, Meals on Wheels, Feed the Need. I mean, we cover a lot. We do. We are very supportive of our outside community. And then also we did a refugee resettlement program there in I think it was in the 70s, 80s, 80s. Correct.
After the war, Vietnam War.
We had a wonderful family come to stay that we supported, and he was a very artistic, creative soul, and constructed beautiful wooden letters, which we use in our sanctuary on our choir boxes.
That's cool.
And at this time, the Spirit fills this house is what is displayed right now.
I love
and
it.
they're beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Well, and on top of that, too, just going back into the organizations and some of the missions and outreach, it's really fascinating and great for the community to hear a little bit of what you all do whenever we're driving by the church or the building every day.
Right.
Absolutely.
If I could ask you, because we're going to take a break here in a couple of minutes and come back and talk about all the events coming down the pipeline.
Okay.
But just personally for you two, was there a mission or an event or a program that you were a part of that you hold, kind of to a higher stand that you remember the most?
Well, I suppose probably one that we do remember the most was when we worked and built a house for Habitat for Humanity.
Oh, yeah.
And we did, but that we did that like 25 years ago. I mean, we were a lot younger then, so we were able to do something that takes that much energy and that much.
That had to have been so cool to be a part of.
Exactly.
That was at the 150th anniversary.
Right.
Is when they built the house for Habitat.
Right.
Yes.
That's so cool.
Right?
Do you have a mission or a project that you guys were a part of?
Absolutely. I am a strong advocate for the mission group. And that is when our youth go out and into the United States or other communities to help and assist those that are in need. It is a great program that involves the youth and truly fills them with an experience of finding the Lord. I mean, it truly does. You come away from that whole experience very moved. So it is an event. It is a program that happens every year. And one of our largest fundraisers for that program is the fish fry, which we're getting ready to start here at the beginning of Lent.
Oh, that's right. Isn't
right.
Easter got pushed back far this year.
Easter's April 20th this year. It's a little later. So our fish fries are getting ready to start here in March.
Yep.
And they are awesome. Absolutely.
And I want to mention also that mission trip. We take kids from our own church, but also kids from the community.
Exactly. Anyone that is wanting to go.
They don't have to be evangelical members in order to go on the mission trip.
That's really cool too. Well,
very, very welcoming and opening. Absolutely.
Take me through some of your leadership at the church. Some of the folks that we could listen to give a service when we come in. Some of the is it priest still at Evangelical? Just because I'm not familiar, I don't want to say the wrong term. Is it priest still?
Oh, sure.
Evangelical.
Oh, gosh,
okay, good.
yeah.
I just because I always mess up one thing in interview, and I wanted to make sure I got.
No. It is open for anyone. Anyone comes in. We have a primary minister. We have a youth pastor. Our youth pastor definitely takes care of a lot of all of our youth programs. His name is Tim Sandifer.
Okay.
And Tim is an awesome fella. I mean, so great with the kids. You'll definitely spot him right away. He has just got a smile as big as the world.
When is the youth services? When can we take our little ones or learn more about them?
During our church service, we have an opportunity where our youth come forward and we have a special moment with the pastor or with Tim and the youth. We also offer a puppet ministry. So sometimes the puppet ministry is in there as well, doing a special moment with the youth. And then right after that, there is like what we call Sunday school. And so then all the youth will go down with the smaller kids off for their Sunday school moments, and then our middle school and senior highs have their groups that go as well.
Fantastic.
Each Sunday, throughout it's primarily through the school year months, Tim meets with that middle school and senior high group. So they have their own special moments and times and
Sunday
events
evening.
that they
Sunday
do in the
evening?
evening,
Okay.
Sunday evening.
Right.
Wow.
Correct.
And can you take us through the pastor real quick?
Well, right now we're kind of in between.
Okay.
We have an interim minister right now.
Okay.
And we're searching for a new senior pastor. And that search is going on at the same time we're doing this 170.
How exciting. Could you imagine walking in as the pastor with the big anniversary like this one?
Well, we don't want to scare somebody off. We don't want them to think it's like this all the time.
Oh, but it is. But it is.
We'll take a quick break. It's 10:42 on this 28th day of February, the last day of the month. We'll come back with more of this great conversation right after this on RiverBender.com and Roku TV.
no, another bad headache? Yeah. Maybe it's time to see your doctor.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including diagnosing health issues or referring you to a specialist. Schedule an appointment today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
Get paid to go solar.
We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh-made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway safe rubber tire dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
I'm the entertainer, and I know just where I stand. Another serenader and another long-haired band. Today I am your champion. I may have won your hearts, but I know the game and you'll forget my name. I won't be here in another year if I don't stay on the charts.
Welcome back, 1045, a little bit of change, back with Pam in Virginia. 175 years of Evangelical Church, United Church of Christ, and really just great to hear a little bit of the history. If you missed it, it'll be live at 11:30 on RiverBender.com/daily show for all of you on-demand tuner-inners. Back into the kit and caboodle of this conversation. Right. So we just had the kickoff in January.
Right.
We had an education and mission component of this in February. Is that still ongoing?
Well, we're coming to a close with that. I mean, it's kind of coming to the end of it, but there are definitely wonderful things to view and look at outside of our church and in front of our chapel area. So, of course, all the memorabilia is fabulous. Wow. You know, that history.
That would be fun.
That is so fun to look at.
Well, and even for folks, I mean, I don't know if it's, I might get myself in trouble by saying that, but for folks that aren't members of Evangelical, but have grown up here and know it. What a perfect
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Please come and see everything that we've done and everything that can happen.
But now we're really getting excited for these next 2 months in March and April, because we're going to recognize people that have been baptized at Evangelical. And they don't have to be current members, but if they were ever baptized in our church and they want to come back and be part of that recognition, we're going to recognize them on March the 9th.
Mm-hmm. And that, I mean, and again, that includes anyone that was baptized at the 8th and Henry location, and or anyone, because they used to do home baptisms. Not sure if anyone's still around with that, but if that occurred in their life, they had a home baptism through Evangelical United Church of Christ, please come and join us. Absolutely.
So how does it work? When you recognize them, how are we going to recognize the individuals?
I have a wonderful history statement, which I am going to read during that service, as well as our pastor is going to recognize everyone that is there, to ask them to stand. And then we are also going to do a kind of a congregation-wide rebaptism.
Oh, wow.
It's going to be like a resprinkling of the word, okay?
We're not dunkers. We're sprinklers.
We're sprinklers.
It's a bap shower.
A little bap shower. Yes.
I love that, though.
Yeah.
And I also saw, is there going to be a display?
Absolutely.
This is where I find it cool. I like that type of stuff.
The history from early baptisms to current baptisms. Tradition. Baptisms carry a lot of different traditions with different families.
Yeah.
Okay. And so anyone that has any memorabilia from their past baptism that they'd like to share with us, please bring. We'll definitely put it on display and then make sure we get it back to you. But there are so many different traditions that people carry within their own families on how they celebrate that occurrence. So our family, this is my mother. Our family has a baptismal gown that
really
we
cool.
have passed down through the ages. Yes.
I really like that though, because it's like you said, it's nostalgic, but it's also
very traditional.
It
very
is
traditional,
and it's history too. Because I mean, evangelical, just in my 26 years of being here, everyone that I know that has been that goes to evangelical, not everyone, but 9 times out of 10 has a very successful life, and they do really good things in the community. And to see kind of just like you said, in the 80s, the school being established, and not even, 40 years later, we're seeing the results of your family, of the church family. Because you can't have a good school without a good church.
No. The bridge between the two of them is extremely important.
Yeah.
And we definitely try to make sure that bridge is strong and very well walked back and forth. We
really
definitely go back and forth.
Well, and you're doing this recognition of baptism right at the right time, because Easter will be on April the 20th.
Exactly.
So you're starting off
with baptism in March, and then in April we're going to recognize all of our confirmands.
Yep.
Because Evangelical also has the tradition of confirmation when you're in the 7th or the 8th grade. And so that's kind of a reaffirmation of your baptism, confirmation.
Well, and that's a big deal.
Yes.
If you went to private school, it was always that time of the year where you'd see the 6th and 7th graders start going on their trips back to the church, and you knew what was going on.
Yep.
And there have been so many folks that have been confirmands through Evangelical. And again, they are absolutely more than welcome. Please come and join us. It would be April 13th will be the recognition for the confirmands.
And what time is that service?
It's 10 o'clock in
10
the morning.
o'clock, okay.
Yes.
Just so we can put that in the article.
Yes, absolutely.
And so, with that being Palm Sunday, how does the church go into Easter and recognize Easter and celebrate the resurrection of?
Well, we of course celebrate all of Holy Week.
Okay.
So we start with Palm Sunday. We recognize then on Thursday, Maundy Thursday. We have services then on Maundy Thursday. Then we'll have a special service on Good Friday, and then of course Easter Sunday morning.
The celebration of resurrection
we'll
on Sunday.
2 services
Two
Sunday?
services on Easter Sunday. We usually have one, I can't remember if it's 7:30, 8 o'clock.
But an early bird and
then a 10 o'clock.
I'm an early bird person.
Yeah.
I really am. But every time I go to early, this is a true statement. I always get hit with the water, right? I right in the eye like it's a cannon. My grandpa before he left us, he got hit right there. Oh!
That's a wake up, CJ. Wake up.
That's right.
Now you know where you are.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's true. Coming up on May the 11th is recognition of past members who became pastors. This should be fascinating.
Absolutely. That's very fascinating. Of course, we have had some families that have had their children go on to become clergy. And so we are definitely going to celebrate that and recognize those folks and invite them back to join us for a special celebration. And that would be on May 11th. One of the past members, her name is Reverend Laura Renault. Laura was in my confirmation class. She and I were in Sunday school together, and so to have Laura come back as her new profession, I'm very excited to see Laura.
Awesome.
This is awesome. It is, absolutely.
Well, and with that too, like David Ostendorf and Jennifer Muggenberg.
Right, Muggenberg.
I have been on fire today. This is a good show. Good show. CJ's pronouncing everything right today.
Spot on.
And Brian Bish.
Right.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
And that's just some, I'm assuming.
Right.
It is.
Photo display outside the chapel that day?
Absolutely. Lots of photo
That's
displays.
See, I love that type of stuff. And
then
the 8th of June seems like this is a pretty big, fun time to be a part of Evangelical yet again to start your summer off.
Everybody's birthday.
And we're going to have a big dinner that day. And one of the things we're going to do is we're going to make our chicken salad and our homemade German potato salad for that picnic, because we used to have a fall festival and we were pretty famous for the chicken salad and German potato salad that we served. And like I said before, our members have gotten older and we can't really do that anymore. So our own members will be able to enjoy it.
Absolutely.
So we're going to celebrate birthdays, and then again at that celebration is when we will supply the chicken salad and the German potato salad and birthday cakes for everybody. So it's going to be a birthday bash.
This is so cool.
Yeah.
Well, and I really mean, I just think it's so great that that honestly.
Well, there's no way that you can celebrate 175 years in one Sunday.
Well, you can't.
So you have to stretch it out.
What I think's cool is you're putting out all the stops. It's not just a day of history, and a barbecue down the road. I mean, you're really taking every moment you all can in this committee to celebrate every aspect of your church.
Absolutely. July is the ice cream social, and then we would celebrate the groundbreaking of our current church. And then in August, we're going to recognize our past pastors, all of the pastors that we have had from our past, and of course the display of photos and everything. October will be our recognition of our school, because school will have started. Okay, and so we're going to recognize our school, our elementary school, as well as our preschool. We're going to have a dedication to a memorial tree to be planted. Of course, Evangelical is part of that roundabout situation. And so, our whole facade in front is going to look a little different here in a couple of years, but we are going to plant a tree. Okay,
we're going to have to plant a bunch of trees.
Exactly. Eventually, we'll plant a bunch of trees again. Yes, exactly.
I think they're going to take a bunch. I think we're going to have to plant a bunch.
Just in case,
And then on October 19th will be our final celebration, and that's going to be the big party.
That is going to be really cool. And when we get closer to that date, too, come back on so we can, like all the big events.
You invite us, we will be here.
Yeah, I would love to. Anytime we can be around, especially to be a part of this. This is a big year for you guys.
It is.
175 is, and honestly, we got through it all in 25 minutes, but we could take 25 minutes on each of these topics.
Right.
We could.
Truly could. Before we go into the final part of this, if you guys are just tuning in, you can be a part of the 175th anniversary of Evangelical United Church of Christ. This interview will be available in a half hour's time on RiverBender.com /daily show. Real quick, are you guys ready for the roundabout construction? Is there a way to still get to church, or any logistical issues we got just for folks that this year that we have to worry about that?
The roundabout actually is not really going to start really pushing until 2026.
Oh, okay, so you can
So
celebrate this year.
we
Good.
have this year to celebrate, and
Good.
we'll still be able to navigate in and out of our own current entrances and exits just fine.
Yeah, and it wasn't
So-
because I know it's it wasn't that. It's just because, if someone sees a road sign, they think, oh, can't go anywhere now.
Panic. Yeah. You know what, of course, has happened, is that our electrical sign and all of our advertisement, we did have to take away to get ready for wires and everything like this. So what we are going to be doing is displaying banners. We're going to
Going
get
back
some of
to
the
the
nice,
old
big,
school.
old school banners and put those guys up so then folks know what we've got going on and when to come visit and to come visit. We are open. Please come see us.
Yeah.
Well, and with that being said, what is your hope the audience takes away the most out of this conversation, and also just the year ahead? What do you hope the region gets out of this, or what would you like for them to do within this year?
Well, we just want everybody to know that they are welcome to come and visit us. We would certainly love to see people that have been members or have been associated with the church anytime in the past. But anybody that just wants to take a new look at us will be happy to talk to those people too. So we're there. Our services are at 10 o'clock on Sunday morning, every Sunday. And so anybody and everybody is welcome.
Very cool.
Absolutely.
Anything else you want to add on to that statement?
That is it. She covers it all.
She was good today.
She was good.
Can you, anything else we need to talk about right now before I say goodbye for so long?
I think we are good. Okay. I appreciate you having us on. Thank you so very much.
Well, you can be a part of these special services, events, and community outreach that will continue from January to October 2025, the second Sunday of each month. Be a part of it. We'll link everything on RiverBender.com in a write-up. I am out of time today, so I got to get back to work. All righty, I'll see you Monday. Enjoy it. Go have fun with your family and friends. 70 degrees today. Don't be in an office. Life's too short. Now, all you got to do is try your best to stay out of jail.
He said